We're doing digital. Thanks, Seth. Good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Steve Caparata here, providing a live update on the storms we have rolling into the area this morning. More to come over the next several days. Thanks to everyone who's joined us on our live stream within our apps. You can join us on WAFB Plus if you don't have that app installed on your Roku, on your Fire Stick, your Apple TV. Great device to have. YouTube Live, we're streaming there live as well. And of course on Facebook. And I'll say to Samantha in the back, Sam, I forgot to mention, please make sure this is streaming to my page right now if it's not. So we're available on multiple platforms, and we're going to give you an update now on what we're tracking this morning. It's already been a very active morning, especially a little bit west and northwest of Baton Rouge, and the storms are getting closer as we speak. Let me start you out with a look at the current warnings we have across South Louisiana. Just a couple on the board right now. A pretty large flash flood warning that extends from Lake Charles up to near, say, Opelousas and in the parts of Voiles Parish this morning. That flash flood warning, I'm going to show you some of the rain totals coming up in a few minutes, but we've had some rain totals 5, 6, 7 inches or more as estimated by Doppler radar. And we now have a severe thunderstorm warning parts of Vermilion, Lafayette, Iberia, and St. Martin parishes. And we're tracking a couple of storms closer to Baton Rouge that aren't under warnings at this moment, but could go under warning at just about any time. This is a live look from our Sky 9 camera out over False River, brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake. Heavy rain continuing to come down. If you can see the water coming down off the rooftop here, it has been more active for those of you a little bit northwest of the capital city, but Baton Rouge and the remainder of the area, the storms are inbound, and it's not going to be long before things really start to pick up. So here's what we've got on First Alert Doppler radar right now. Light to moderate rains here in the capital city at the moment. I'm going to come back to this storm in just a second, but first I'm going to take you up closer to the state line. Had a healthy storm come through Clinton that's now crossing the state line and also crossing into northern St. Helena Parish. This one's looked like it's had some potential to produce some fairly strong winds at times. A little bit south of Liberty, Mississippi right now, although Liberty in on some good rains, at least the core of it a little bit south of Liberty, but keeping a close eye on that one as it lifts up to the east-northeast. That one will eventually track pretty close to maybe Macomb, or between, say, Osika and Macomb here within the next hour. Now, coming back to this cell, Can you see this cell's got a little bit of a bow-like shape to it? At least some hints that it's producing some pretty strong winds as it moves east along Highway 190 right now. Maybe not far from, say, Livonia, headed into Irwinville. So in these areas, if you're getting any strong winds, I'd love to hear about it. Let me know. But you can see this is going to be coming into Baton Rouge here probably within the next 30 to 45 minutes. So this cell is going to have the potential of producing some pretty strong winds as it moves in. As I said, no warning at the moment, but keeping up with our colleagues at the National Weather Service within our chat room, they're mentioning they're watching it closely and not ruling out that a warning could come out at some point on that one. So that's definitely a storm of interest here in Metro Baton Rouge. And then here's the one that's prompted a severe thunderstorm warning that's down closer to Abbeville right now. That'll be tracking right across, it looks like, New Iberia, south side of Lafayette, and then into St. Martin Parish, and eventually out over the basin. Very heavy storms extending down to the coast. All right, here's a look at the storm reports we've had so far this morning. Now, fortunately, not a whole lot. That's the good news. We did get a report of some wind damage here in St. Landry Parish out of the community of Washington. That's just north of Opelousas. Report of a roof that was blown off of a home. That was around 8:30, so that was a little more than an hour ago with a storm that came through St. Landry Parish. We had at least some street flooding reported in and around Lake Charles. Fairly healthy winds along the coast of Cameron Parish, but so far, those are the official storm reports we have received. Now here's a look at the estimated rainfall that I promised you, and you can see this stripe of heavy rain that set up overnight and early this morning from Cameron Parish through Lake Charles, extending up Jeff Davis into Evangeline, St. Landry, and even now starting to see some pretty decent totals in northern Point Coupee and parts of West Feliciana Parish. 2 to 3 inches of rainfall is estimated by Doppler radar, but we bring you west and look at these big numbers showing up. So in Cameron Parish, we've got some 5 to 6 inch totals. Some of those 6 inch totals near and south and east of Lake Charles. You go into Jeff Davis Parish, look at these numbers, 7, 8 inches of rain or more. St. Landry Parish, 5 to 7 inches of rain. Some of that extending back into Evangeline. And then again here, northern Point Coupee, the greens would indicate 2 to 3 inches or more. Some of that bleeding into western West Feliciana Parish. So that is the concern. If you watched the morning show this morning, we were showing you a band of storms kind of set up in southwest Louisiana. Wasn't moving a whole lot. So anywhere that we get those bands of storms set up, and storms kind of training over the same areas, you could get some rain totals adding up and getting pretty high in a fairly short amount of time. For the vast majority of our viewing area, a flash flood watch went into effect at 8 o'clock this morning and runs through the end of the day on Thursday. So we still have another 2.5+ days of that flash flood watch. A little bit different on the west side of the Atchafalaya Basin. When I got into work this morning, there was no flash flood watch out here. Those storms started hitting southwest Louisiana, and so the Weather Service in Lake Charles decided to post that flash flood watch. Then they went with kind of a short-term watch through 1 o'clock this afternoon, even though there could be some additional heavy rain in the coming days. We'll see if they extend that at any point. Let me give you a look at a couple of model perspectives now. Neither of the models I'm about to show you is right on cue, is verifying very well with what's happening right now, because remember, I was just showing you storms that are approaching Baton Rouge at this hour. Look where the graph has them, still well out to our west. This has been a problem really through the overnight and this morning. Models kind of having a tough time catching up. But the bottom line is that line will continue some eastward progress into the early afternoon. Showers and storms should be fairly widespread around the area. And then as we get deeper into the afternoon, somewhat hopeful that at least for those of us in Metro Baton Rouge, north and westward, that some of the heavy rains will gradually shift south and eastward. But those of you closer to the coast and the Metro New Orleans could very well be in for a stormy afternoon. And you see how that band may slow down this afternoon, this evening. That's where you get into an increased concern of some flooding. So that's 6 o'clock this evening. This model keeps it kind of quieter around Metro Baton Rouge late afternoon into the evening. evening, focusing more of the activity for those of you closer to the coast and into Metro New Orleans. And then the question becomes late tonight, we think at some point some of these showers and storms that kind of get hung up along the coast may start to retreat back to the north late tonight into tomorrow morning, so could see some storms returning. Here's the HRRR model. Maybe a little closer to reality than that graph that I just showed you, but still running a little bit behind what is actually happening right now. It's a little slower in its eastward progress, which doesn't seem very realistic. We'll see, but you can see the storms coming through the lunch hour and into the early afternoon. Still fairly stormy around Metro Baton Rouge, and then the storms gradually shifting south and east this afternoon. This is 5 o'clock. At least there's some consistency between those two models and showing the heavier rains shifting more to the coastal parishes and Metro New Orleans, and maybe parts of the North Shore late afternoon into the evening hours. Here we are at 8 o'clock. You can see how the HRRR, though, already starts to bring some showers at least back into Metro Baton Rouge, and you get the hint of some of the storms building back northward late tonight. That's beyond midnight, so that is something we will be tracking. Here's an updated look at the model rain forecast for Baton Rouge now, and I've got 6 models plotted. You can throw out the NAM at under an inch. We're going to get more than an inch of rain, and I would say the GFS is probably coming in too low at 1.25 inches. The other models are reasonable in my mind, running 2 to 3+ inches of rain, and just keep in mind those are point forecasts for Baton Rouge. Totals are going to vary around the area and certainly could go higher. These are just some model projections. So anyway, you slice it, a pretty good soaking on the way. Now, those were the model projections. Let's give you a forecast with some human input. This is from NOAA's Weather Prediction Center. This takes us all the way through Friday morning. And for most of our viewing area, they've got anywhere from about 2.5 to 5 inches of rain on average. Keep in mind when you look at a map like these are average rain totals. They certainly can and almost certainly will go higher in spots, but 2.5 to 5 inches of rain on average across southeast Louisiana, in the southwest Mississippi, and even painting in some higher totals of 7 inches plus from extreme coastal southeast Louisiana over into coastal Mississippi and Alabama, where the flood threat may even be a bit higher. Speaking of the flood threat, this is the flood risk from the Weather Prediction Center. So Morgan City to near Lafayette through Baton Rouge to Macomb in the green, that's a marginal flood risk, or kind of a level 1 out of 4 on their scale. As you go a bit south and east of Baton Rouge, Homa to near Gonzales through Hammond to the North Shore, and then over to Metro New Orleans in yellow, a slight risk today, or level 2 out of 4. Kind of in line with the models, maybe slowing that band down a little bit south and east of Baton Rouge today. And it's a fairly similar picture in their flood risk map for tomorrow, with a marginal or level 1 out of 4 risk from Baton Rouge, Morgan City through Macomb, and just a little bit east and southeast of Baton Rouge in that slight risk, or that level 2 out of 4. As we get into Thursday, they do maintain a marginal risk here. Baton Rouge right on the edge of it. New Orleans to Baton Rouge northward in the green, at least a marginal risk of flooding. It does look like storms on Thursday probably won't produce the same amount of rainfall, but the severe weather threat on Thursday may actually go higher. So let's talk about the severe weather threat now. Lots of maps to show you. Today's outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, level 1 out of 5, marginal risk area wide. A little while ago, they issued an outlook. At that point in time, they were saying only a 20% chance that they would post some sort of severe weather watch, whether that be a severe thunderstorm or tornado watch. So a watch, unlikely. But even if a watch is unlikely, it doesn't mean that we couldn't get some warnings. We've seen some warnings, and additional warnings will be possible. All right, I hear alarms going off. Let's see what we've got. Looks like we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning. So severe thunderstorm warning for East Baton Rouge, Iberville, Livingston, Point-Coupee, West Baton Rouge parishes in effect until 10:30. So I'm going to come back to the severe weather outlook in a moment, but let's get to what's happening right now with that severe thunderstorm warning that just came out. All right, and let me pause it here so we can take a better look at it. And I'm going to highlight this for you because I know it's difficult to see on this map with all these colors. So here's a look at our polygon. Let's move that little red box out of the way too and give you a look at our severe thunderstorm warning. So this is in effect through 10:30. Again, especially just about all of West Baton Rouge Parish, a good chunk of East Baton Rouge. So downtown Baton Rouge is included in that. It's this storm right now that extends from near Rosedale, but especially maybe closer to Irwinville, that's moving off to the east. Let me get the motion on that. It is moving off, bear with me just a second. So it is moving off to the east at 40 miles per hour, and the warning indicating the potential of some strong damaging winds and or hail within that storm. So we could take a look at a couple of things. First off, let's take a look at the wind velocities within this. And maybe hints of some stronger winds here just north of Rosedale and near and south of Irwinville. So we'll track that pocket of winds right there moving off to the east. And then let's take a look at our hail tracker. Turn on the hail tracker. You get the hints of at least maybe some small, not terribly large hail, but at least some small hail in that same general vicinity. So we now have that severe thunderstorm warning, and I can give you another look at that. Here's another look at that severe thunderstorm warning. Extends from near Rosedale, Port Allen, up to just on the extreme south side of False River, Baton Rouge, Central, Baker, Zachary, all included in this warning. That's in effect until 10:30. So be alert for that. Winds could be picking up here shortly in Baton Rouge, say the next 15 to 20 minutes as that storm approaches. So we'll be tracking that closely. All right, as we continue to keep an eye on that, let me get back to my severe weather outlook maps and walk you through that, and we'll come back to radar in a moment. So today, a level 1 out of 5 marginal risk. And oh, by the way, I told you a little while ago, the Storm Prediction Center had said a 20% chance of some sort of watch being issued. They did just put out another discussion updating that. They're now going with a 40% chance of a watch being issued. Let me just see if there's anything interesting coming out of that. Yeah, it looks like what they're discussing is primarily what we've seen so far this morning. A few storms could be capable of strong and/or damaging winds, and that an isolated tornado can't be ruled out. So we'll keep an eye on that. Certainly, if any watches come out, we will let you know. Now, into tomorrow. This is Wednesday's outlook. Most of our viewing area is once again under that level 1 out of 5 marginal risk of severe weather. So a few strong storms tomorrow, not out of the question. And then Thursday, the storms may be a bit less widespread, but the storms that do develop look to have a greater severe weather potential. So right now as it stands, everyone in our viewing area under at least a level 2 out of 5 or slight risk on Thursday, and just north of Baton Rouge, the parishes bordering the state line up into southwest Mississippi under a level 3 out of 5 or an enhanced risk. So that's certainly something we need to watch closely. On top of that, you remember a week ago we were talking about this hatching on the map at times. Storm Prediction Center has put some of that on the map once again. So this black hatching here, which comes in just north of Baton Rouge as it stands right now, that indicates at least a 10% chance of what they call significant severe weather. What is significant severe weather? Well, that means at least a 10% chance within this hatching of EF2 or stronger tornadoes. So strong tornadoes of wind gusts of 75 miles per hour or stronger, and at least 2 inches in diameter. So Thursday, we're going to be tracking the severe weather potential. The flood threat may actually go down a little bit on Thursday, even as the severe weather potential increases. And this could be another significant severe weather event across the Deep South. And much like last week, as it stands right now on Tuesday, looking ahead to Thursday, it does look like the greater threat is probably a bit to our north. but we certainly need to watch it closely with a level 2 to a level 3 of severe weather here posted locally. But you can see places like Jackson, Mississippi, Monroe, up to Memphis, Birmingham, Huntsville, and just south of Nashville in that level 3 out of 5. And given some of the model guidance rolling in this morning, would not be surprised to see again an upgrade somewhere in here, probably a good bit to north, but somewhere within that area, maybe even an upgrade to a level 4 or a moderate risk at some point in subsequent outlooks. Pair of storm systems here in play. Here's the first one spinning into Kansas this morning. That's the one delivering the heavy rain. And so the problem is, as this storm system kind of pivots north now, we have a cold front approaching from the west, but it's going to kind of lose that push. So the front's going to kind of get hung up, and that's why we get the rain moving in today, but the front never moves through. And with a southwesterly flow in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere, that'll keep things unsettled, and that's why we'll see additional rounds of showers and storms into tomorrow as that front gets hung up out to our west, and we then await another storm system beginning to take shape out west. That's the one that's going to drive the severe weather threat coming up on Thursday. So we'll be tracking that closely. So we've got this multi-day first alert posted to give you a heads up to the potential of heavy rainfall, which is still, I think, our greatest concern is heavy rainfall, and then secondarily severe weather possible each day today through Thursday, with the greatest threat, as we talked about, being on Thursday. We briefly dry out on Friday, but by the weekend, scattered showers, a few storms back. Now, right now, it doesn't look like anything terribly well organized this weekend. We'll keep an eye on it. And how about temperatures that could jump into the mid-80s on Saturday? Should get another cold front through here sometime Sunday, maybe in the morning hours. That'll give us maybe at least a slight cool down early next week, drier, a little more rain potentially returning Wednesday into Thursday. And of course, we remind you, if you don't already have it installed, WAFB.com/weather app, all the watches, warnings, alerts, everything you need, you will get those interactive radar, hour-by-hour forecasts, much more. Great tool to have certainly today and in the coming days with all this weather that's going on. Before I take a peek down for any questions, let's come back to our severe thunderstorm warning that was issued a few minutes ago that does include Baton Rouge, and take an updated look at that. So right now, here's the core of that storm that's prompted the warning. A little bit of, let me widen the view out even a little bit. Can you kind of see that bow shape? That indicates the potential of some strong winds. So that's getting ready to cross LA 415 here in West Baton Rouge. So places like Rougon, you guys the storms are moving in as we speak. They'll be headed into near Port Allen, north side of Port Allen, up towards Bush. It looks like the core of the storm, and we'll see. Downtown Baton Rouge is in the warning. The worst of the storm may move a little north of downtown. It's going to be a close call, but certainly up around the airport, Baker, Zachary, Port Hudson, places like that. You guys are under the gun for potential strong, if not damaging winds, with the severe thunderstorm warning that remains in effect until 10:30. Let me take another look at the velocity data. And I know this is kind of a messy picture, but right about in here appears to be where we would have some of our strongest winds. I can query those. Let's see if it's showing anything. Yeah, so it's not showing anything exceptionally high. It's showing some wind velocities in the 40s, and that's at an elevation of more than a mile up. But still, given the radar appearance, it's got that look of storms that could produce some strong winds. So we need to be ready for it, and that's why the warning is in effect. Let me see if there's anything else updated right now. All right, nothing new, it looks like, from our colleagues at the Weather Service. So with that, let me take a peek over and see if you guys have any questions. So those of you on Facebook, feel free to pop those in the comments. And also, if you're on YouTube Live, watching on YouTube Live, you can pop them in that way. All right, see Connie near Irwinville. So Connie, yes, stay safe. That storm rolling through, and you know, if you're in any of these areas getting hit by this storm that's rolling through West Baton Rouge right now, moving into EBR, and you get some damage or you see anything significant rolling through, when it's safe to report it, please let me know. You can message me on Facebook, on Twitter at SteveWAFB. You can submit pictures and video through social media at 9reports.com. You can do that directly through our news and weather apps. Multiple ways to get your information to us. But a lot of times when it gets to these events, you're our eyes and ears on the ground, and that's how we know. We can use radar as an initial detection tool, but until we get some ground level confirmation, it's hard to know exactly what we're seeing. All right, Sam, if you can hear me in the back, any questions coming in on YouTube? And I'm going to see if I can hop over there myself. Okay, so hopefully I've answered a lot of your questions. Doesn't seem like we have much rolling in right now, which is a good thing. So before I wrap it up, let's come back to radar here for a second and kind of reset. So you can see this is the broader view of our line of storms that's now moving in from the west. Let me give you a look at what our current warnings are, a cleaner view of the current warnings. Once it loads up here, so we've got this severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Point Coupee, West Baton Rouge, a little bit of Iberville, East Baton Rouge, and it looks like a little bit of Livingston. That one's in effect until 10:30. And then let me see what this, I forget the expiration time is on this one. So the other warning that's in effect closer to Lafayette, that one's in effect until 10:15. That's parts of Lafayette, St. Martin, Iberia, and Vermilion parishes. So these storms, the pair of warnings we have right now, main concern would be strong damaging winds, but also some hail would be possible. Good news is no tornado warnings. Also glad to see that it looks like the flash flood warning that was in effect in western Louisiana has been allowed to expire. So hopefully things improving over that way a little bit. But locally, we do remain under a flash flood watch all the way, not only through the day today, not just through the day tomorrow, but through the day on Thursday. So for the vast majority of us, still another 2.5 days or so of this flash flood watch. Although hopefully we can get a cold front through here by Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening. Might be able to cancel that watch a little bit early. I'm thinking the threat will wind down by Thursday. I just said Wednesday, I think. Threat should be winding down by Thursday evening around the area. But bottom line is some active times ahead. Next couple of hours probably going to be the most active part of the day here in Metro Baton Rouge in terms of maybe the severe weather potential and some of the heavy rain. But even after that initial line slips on through, probably going to be some rain that lingers into the afternoon that could still be heavy at times. So just be safe if you have to be out and about. Jeff Morrow's in. He'll be on air at noon. We don't have basketball today, I don't think, or do we? But Jeff will get you through the next couple of shows. The team will be here. Any warnings come out, we'll certainly let you know. And if necessary, we'll break into programming. But for now, 9:56 on this Tuesday morning. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up.